Hello everyone, in this video we will learn about factors that affect the enzyme activity. Here is our objectives for today's session. I hope by the end of this session you will be able to explain the following changes that affect the rate of enzymatic reaction. Okay, let's start. So there are four factors that affect the mechanisms of enzymes, namely pH, substrate concentration, enzyme concentration, and temperature. Here is a graph showing the effect of temperature on the reaction rate of an enzyme. To explain this graph, I divided them into three parts: low temperature, optimum temperature, and high temperature. Okay, so my first question: what happened to the rate of enzyme when the temperature is low? The reaction rate of the enzyme is low. This is because the substrate and the enzyme has low kinetic energy. So kinetic energy ini adalah tenaga kinetik yang dimiliki oleh benda yang bergerak. Okay? So kalau suhu rendah, maksudnya kadar tindak balas enzim pun rendah. Okey, apa pula akan jadi kalau suhu semakin meningkat? Okay, as the temperature rises, the reaction rate of the enzyme also increase because the kinetic energy of the substrate and the enzyme is now increasing. So the molecules will tend to move faster, and this will increase the chances of collision, okay, pelanggaran of the substrate molecules binding to the active site of the enzyme. Okay, maksudnya apabila suhu makin meningkat, maka tenaga kinetik enzim dan substrate pun meningkat. Okay? Jadi keadaan ini akan menyebabkan lebih banyak pelanggaran antara molekul enzim dan substrate untuk menghasilkan enzim substrate kompleks. Oleh sebab itu, kadar tindak balas enzim semakin meningkat apabila suhu makin meningkat. Nak meningkat sampai bila? Okey, meningkat sehinggalah mencapai optimum temperature. Alright, so at this point, this is where the rate of enzymatic reaction is the maximum. Okay, kebanyakan enzim mempunyai suhu optimum dalam 35 hingga ke 37 darjah Celsius. Tapi ada juga bakteria yang mampu hidup dalam suhu yang lebih tinggi, contoh 80 darjah Celsius. Jadi suhu optimum untuk tindak balas enzim untuk bakteria ini ialah 80 darjah Celsius. Okey, kat sini kena ingat satu fakta ni ya. Setiap kali 10 darjah Celsius peningkatan, kadar tindak balas aktiviti enzim ini akan meningkat 2 kali ganda sehingga mencapai suhu optimum. Okay, every 10 degree Celsius rise in temperature, the rate of reaction is doubled until it reach the optimum temperature. Okay, so what happens if the temperature keep on increasing? Alright, so this is the third part. Okay, beyond the optimum temperature, the activity of the enzyme will reduce until it stops at 60 degrees Celsius. So at this temperature, the enzyme become denatured as the chemical bonds in the enzyme molecules start to break. Okay, the substrate molecules can no longer fit to the active site of the enzyme. Maksudnya, jika suhu semakin meningkat dan melebihi suhu optimum, akan menyebabkan ikatan kimia yang mengikat molekul enzim ini terlerai ataupun terputus. Jadi kalau enzim tu dah terlerai ikatan kimia dia, maka the shape of the active site pun akan berubah. So at this point, the enzyme is said to be denatured. Okay, dan kesan ini adalah irreversible, tak boleh nak ghostan balik, tak boleh nak kembali ke bentuk asal dia tu. Jadi kalau active site berubah, maka substrate pun tak boleh nak bind to the active site. So the reaction rate of the enzyme makin slow sampailah all of the enzyme fully denatured. Semua enzim yang ada dalam tubuh badan tu ataupun yang ada dalam sesuatu organisma itu semuanya denatured. So at that point, the rate of reaction of the enzyme is 0. Okay. Okay kelas, kalau perhatikan kat sini, inilah enzim yang sudah denatured. Okay. Perhatikan dia punya active site tu berubah, betul tak? Disebabkan oleh high temperature, it can denatured. So, the substrate can no longer bind to the enzyme. Okay, now we look at the second factors, pH. Okay, different enzymes, they have different optimum pH. Optimum pH is the particular pH at which the rate of reaction of the enzyme is the maximum. Okay, kalau perhatikan dekat graf ni, lain enzyme, lain optimum pH dia. Contohnya enzim pepsin, optimum pH dia around pH 2, which is acidic condition, betul tak? So, ini bermakna enzim pepsin ni tak boleh bekerja dengan semaksimumnya kalau dia diletakkan di dalam keadaan yang neutral ataupun keadaan yang berakali. Okay? Okay, now if there is a pH changes, alright, so it may result in the changes of the charge on the active site of the enzyme. Maksudnya kalau ada perubahan dalam pH value tu, okay, akan menyebabkan berlakunya perubahan charge pada active site of the enzyme. So this will lead to reduced ability of the enzyme for binding with the substrate. Kalau reduced ability nak bind to the substrate, therefore the rate of reaction will decrease. If there is extreme change in the pH, it may cause the enzyme to fully denatured, and this action is irreversible. Okay, sama macam case di mana temperature is extremely high tadi. Okay, so the enzyme will denatured, right? Okay, yang ni cikgu dah terangkan dah tadi. Alright, kita masuk ke faktor yang ketiga, iaitu substrate concentration. Okay, untuk substrate concentration, tengok pada graf ni, when the substrate concentration increases, the rate of reaction pun increases. Betul tak? Because more substrate are available to bind with the active site of the enzyme. So, the reaction will increase until a maximum level di mana there will be not enough enzyme supply. So at this point, the enzyme becomes a limiting factor. So kalau nak increasekan reaction ni, kita kena tambah concentration of enzyme. Okay? Okay, yang ni hanya ilustrasi nak tahu macam mana, apa yang limiting factor tu, adakah enzyme concentration ataupun substrate concentration. Okay, kalau substrate concentration semakin meningkat, kalau perhatikan dalam illustration ni, okay, we have 3 enzymes with increasing amount of substrate concentration. So at this point, the enzyme concentration will be the limiting factor. Kita tak cukup enzyme nak catalyze the reaction. Sebab tu, the reaction is constant at this point. Alright? Okay, faktor yang keempat is enzyme concentration. From this graph, we can see that as the enzyme concentration increases, the reaction rate of the enzyme also increases. This is because more enzyme molecules are available at this point. Okay, so the reaction will increase until it reach a maximum rate, and then it will become constant. Okay, so after the maximum rate, the concentration of the substrate become the limiting factor. Kita ada banyak enzyme, tapi pada point ni kita tak cukup substrate tu. So the rate of reaction will become constant. Jadi kalau kita nak naikkan rate of reaction ni, kita kena tambahkan lebih banyak substrate. Samalah, ini ilustrasi yang menunjukkan macam mana kita nak tahu apa yang limiting factor tu. Okay, tengok dekat sini enzyme concentration yang dalam purple ni, okay, dia semakin meningkat. Tetapi substrate concentration dia tu tak cukup. Okay, so the limiting factor will be the substrate concentration. Okay, kita dah tengok dah 4 faktor yang mempengaruhi kadar tidak balas enzim. And now this one we will look at the application of enzyme in daily life. So this is a famous question in essay. Right, so here are a few examples. We have dairy product, baking industry, brewing industry, biological detergent, and etc. Okay, I've made a table so you can use this table as guide for your when doing essay question. Okay,